Hi folks, welcome back to Dragon Age Inquisition. We are continuing our rounds back in Haven, and I guess it's Solas's turn now.
Let's talk to this
hey,
egg.
Solas.
Let's talk to
Come
this.
back here, buddy.
Come here. Let's talk to this egg. Come here,
you
egg.
gained the mages. Excellent. They should be able to seal the breach. You are certain you experienced time travel.
Just trying to get in there.
Could it have been an illusion? A trick of the Fade?
No, sir.
Pretty definitely not.
Dorian is certain. I am a mage. I'd know. And no.
It's weird because like Solas tends to like acknowledging your own weaknesses, being like, I don't know, there's room for doubt. And none of these are that. For what it's worth, absolutely none of these are that at all.
I really want to go with Dorian is certain.
Let's do it. Dorian's pretty
like
damn sure.
He's not gonna like that.
Oh no, he's gonna disapprove.
Yeah.
Dorian was
Yeah.
sure. Impossible as it seems.
That's okay.
What an amazing gift. It is vital the Inquisition succeed to avoid the future you witness.
Thanks for the conversation. I complimented a friend. You disapproved. Thank you so much for talking.
Thank you. This was a riveting conversation we just had. I saw
Do you want
there.
to?
Flirt with him?
Yeah. We are Oxar, owner of hearts. I'm not sure that's what we're going for, but...
No, but, you know, saying that, I feel like he would like it, though.
Yeah, like,
it was like...
I'm gonna not acknowledge the future we witnessed and instead be like, it's great talking with you, though. You know, that was pretty neat, but it's so much better talking with you,
We could
Solas.
we didn't see him there, because we didn't take him with
that's
our
a
party,
lie.
so that would
It's
be
just
fake.
a lie.
But it's a lie, but
Called
we'd be
lying,
like,
Allison.
we've been we were thinking of you, so, this is such a weird response, I want to do it.
I know, it has nothing to do with...
It's totally
Most
irrelevant.
people have trouble wrapping their heads around the idea.
There we go. Cool.
I'm not most people.
I appreciate you talking with me about it, and not being most people.
If you wish me to speak of Elysian fashion, I may be at a loss. Magical surprises I can handle. Speaking of which, you should ready yourself.
For
This Elder One. You have now interfered with his plans twice. Once at the Temple of Sacred Ashes, and now again at Redcliffe. A being
point.
who aspires to godhood is unlikely to ignore such an affront.
Oh,
Gone.
bye.
Done.
Anything else you have
No,
to say?
he's just done with you.
Hello.
No, look at that.
Tell me about elves.
Are you... Really?
No.
we'll talk later.
Bye.
Bye, Solas.
I wish that I didn't wear shoes.
Yeah, no, I feel that very, very
That
strongly.
really bothers me because
Yeah, they just didn't.
yeah. All right. Okay. It's time
Hey, Dorian.
It's time for some fun.
We went through a lot of stuff, Dorian. Let's chat about it.
I'm
The Inquisition
so
supports
ready.
free mages. What's next? Elves running Hallam-Sharal? Cows milking farmers?
You disagree. I'll think of something, and it had to be done. You disagree?
Yeah. You disagree?
You seemed to approve
I
earlier.
take it you don't agree.
On the contrary, I approve. Heartily. I do wonder if you've considered what this support of yours will do. For mages in general, I mean. The Inquisition is seen as an authority. You've given southern mages license to, well, be like mages back home.
So long as they're like you.
I don't want to flirt with him. Just
Yeah,
I just don't want to flirt with him.
I think he'd find it amusing.
He'll-
but,
like, doesn't he
like?
roll-
Well, he likes being complimented
Yeah.
more than anything. He's just like, yes, I am
like
fantastic.
he'll with a female inquisitor, he'll roll with it until he'll be like, no,
yeah, he'll be
stop.
like, okay, stop.
Yeah.
But we could say, is that so terrible? So they'll rule us next, and I doubt that. I mean, so they'll rule us next is an interesting thing to bring up, especially because, like, I mean, Teventer mages, especially up to this point, have not been portrayed in any sort of positive light.
Right.
Up to and including Alexius.
It's so weird coming at this though as like as a mage
yeah.
and like as a
But as an elf,
right.
we're a mage who's never been in the circle.
right.
Unless we decide we haven't, but like,
No,
according to lore,
No,
yeah,
we're a Dalish elf.
exactly.
But the concept, I feel like, of feeling uneasy about mages ruling over people, like I don't even know if that's a concept that Oxer would even like consider
Well, it
or feel
depends.
weird
I mean,
about. I don't
Oxer
know.
is a Dalish elf from the Free Marches, which is an area that we know was like, that's where a lot of slavers were. That's where a lot of like elves are pulled up to Venter.
Oh,
so
that's true.
I
Yeah.
don't think even an isolated clan, I imagine, would have stories and thoughts about Tevinter. Maybe not specifically the magic-tocracy. I don't know if that's how you'd call it. The mage-tocracy.
The mage-tocracy.
Sorry. Like, maybe not specifically the politics of Tevinter, but they'd probably have some thoughts about Tevinter mages.
That's fair.
I don't know.
Then I'm inclined, I guess,
Yeah.
to go with this one.
So
Yeah.
they'll rule us next.
So what? They all turn into blood mages, worship dragons, and then take over?
Not at first. But you'd be a fool not to see where this could lead. Thing is, the Imperium was once just like the South. Templars, proper circles, all that rot. Then it changed. By inches. Not that this is reason to oppress us. Still, my homeland should be a cautionary tale, not a source of inspiration.
Okay, interesting. Well, let's investigate.
Yeah.
Let's hear more about that. Tell me about yourself. Tell me about the Imperium.
Well, he's just now talking about, I guess, the Imperium, so let's ask him about that first.
Yeah,
What
we
do you
can
think?
continue that
I'd
conversation.
like to ask you about
Yeah.
Tevinter.
Ah, yes. Everyone outside the Imperium always seems quite fascinated by it.
Well, yeah.
Probably why they come up with so many ridiculous tales. Flying cows over Minrathous. That's madness. All right, that one's actually true. The cows didn't have wings. I digress.
Catapult?
Anything in particular you wanted to know?
Catapult? Cow catapult?
Cow catapult or cow levitation magic?
Maybe. But, like, the idea of it having nothing to do with magic strangely is appealing to me.
Yeah. Just like...
They're like, great sorcery. And they're like, no, we just...
So, what if the cows actually jumped over the
Yeah.
moon? Is
Oh,
like what they're
God.
thinking.
And the poor, like, undergrad who did it is like, oh, Jesus Christ, I didn't mean to start this. I don't
my
know. I'm just
God.
amused by the concept of it. Do mages truly rule there? Is blood magic common? Is the Imperium has a chantry? Could Tevinter be an ally? And what about slavery, which will be a great fun one to get to in a minute.
How about, let's start with this one. Do mages truly rule there?
Cool.
Yeah. I want to ask him
Seems
all this.
strange that an entire empire would be ruled by mages.
Strange? Why are you less qualified to rule than some tart with a fancy crown? Actually, the
Celine.
fiction in the Imperium is that mages don't rule. The magisterium rules. That magisters are all mages is considered a convenient technicality.
Interesting.
Yeah.
The magisterium?
About the Archon?
But mages do rule. Magisterium, tell us about that.
Sure.
What is the magisterium, exactly?
The upper house of the Imperial Senate, and the only part worth having a seat on. Those seats are split among the circles of magi, the chantry, and the major families. All mages now. It's odd that outside the Imperium, you use magister like it applies to every Tevinter mage.
What are you then?
Yeah.
Yeah. We know
If
he's not
you're
a
not
magister.
a magister, then what are you called? No special title?
I'm an altus, which is almost as good as a magister, depending on who you ask.
And an Altus is...
Yeah.
I've never heard of an altus.
Upper class. Those families who trace descent from the Dreamers, the first prophets of the old gods. If you're a mage and you're not altus, then you're later. Lower class. If you're not a mage at all, you're soperati. That's everyone else. We do love our fancy words.
I'd never heard any of that before.
Really?
Yeah, I'd never gotten any of that line of dialogue, so that's really cool.
It's super interesting because it does give you a bit more, like, perspective on how that society actually works. Like, genuinely, there's a word for it's a muggle, basically.
Yes.
There's a muggle word.
Yep.
But then
Yeah.
even more than that, there's, like, the purebloods versus the mudbloods, almost.
Pretty
like, It
much.
breaks down in
Yeah.
Harry Potter rules a little bit.
It does, yeah.
Um,
Also, just as a point, this is so great and interesting and fascinating to suddenly have Dorian and suddenly have access to all of that, like, lore and knowledge of Tevinter, because up until this point, like, in the games, you didn't have that, and Tevinter was this looming, like, evil nation that, like,
Yeah.
steals people in the night and fights with the Canary and, like...
And the only people
Yeah.
from Tevinter that you ever met were slavers,
or
blood mages, both often, or Fenris. Like, that's it.
Right.
That's the
Well,
full
a
summary.
slave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, to suddenly have just, like, a dude, an upper
Yeah.
class dude, but, like,
But just a person.
just a person from Tevinter. Between Felix and Dorian, I think they do a really, really good job of trying to add a bit of humanity to what basically was a boogeyman in the other two games.
Yeah.
They're like, hey, here's two kids. I mean, they're adults, but like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like
they're 20s and 30s, whatever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Two dudes from Deventer who are not everything you've seen before.
Right. Right.
And trying to add a bit of context. I think it's really interesting.
Yeah. What about the Archon? But mages do roll. I guess we'll go through these. Yeah.
I thought the Archon ruled over the Imperium.
Well, yes. Technically, he can overrule laws passed by the Magisterium, but that never happens. Even so, he gets to appoint new Magisters, which means all the families vie madly for his favor. Thus, the Archon gets invited to all the parties. The truest path to Deventer influence, let me tell you.
But mages do roll.
If it's a fiction, that means mages do rule then.
Yes and no. Let me put it this way. Mages do rule, but not all mages are equal. If you're not from the right family, chances are you don't rule anything. Maybe you're even a slave. The idea that anyone could be a mage, however, keeps the masses placated.
So like the Leighton or whatever, they would never be in a position of power,
right.
I guess, even though they're mages.
But they still have magic.
I guess the final group would be like what Fiona almost was, which is not a slave necessarily, but is like...
But like an indentured servant.
Yeah, like anybody who is not a citizen, but has, is working towards their citizenship.
Right, exactly.
As a servant.
Yeah. Who also happens to do magic.
Yep.
Yeah. Is that true?
Can anyone be a mage?
Technically, the potential runs mostly in bloodlines, but it's been known to happen. More importantly, commoners believe it can. Deventer legend is chock full of mage heroes from humble origin. So they hold out hope. Someday my son or my son's son will be a mage. Someday. Poor sods don't realize that means he'll be a quaestor at the arse end of the 100 Pillars, at best.
Is that bad? I don't know what that means, buddy. You use a lot of terms.
Being a quaestor isn't a good thing.
I imagine the average non-mage likes to think so. Counting numbers and shuffling papers all day is better than many occupations after all. If you're a second-class citizen among a pack of piranha, however, your outlook changes.
Okay, so that it's probably edited out
I
now.
will have cut out that sound.
But Penny is being just so noisy over here.
She's so loud.
She's scratching and licking and biting and like scratching the couch and like trying to make her bed. And
I've been trying to like keep her quiet for the entirety of this entire episode. And it's not worked.
She will not stop fidgeting. Oh my god, girl!
Stop fidgeting, girl.
I want to ask something else.
Sorry, Dorian. Got distracted by a dog. Let's see. Imperium has a chantry. Could Deventer be an ally? I guess since we're already talking about Deventer, could Deventer be an ally?
Yeah, let's do that.
I'm wondering if the Imperium would be a useful ally.
I'd think you'd be more concerned whether or not they'd support the Venatori. They won't. At least, not officially. They'll disavow all knowledge of dangerous cultists. Secretly, many Magisters will rejoice at the idea. And if the South falls to chaos in the meantime, all the better.
Is that smart of them?
Yeah.
It would be in the Imperium's best interest to help. Surely it could use allies.
I think the Imperium gave up on the idea of allies a long time ago. We've been fighting the Qunari for what, 200 years off and on? It's a point of pride that we go it alone. They'll sneer at the South behind their silk handkerchiefs and say, "You've had it easy for far too long." Let's not forget that the Inquisition seems to be an arm of the Orlesian Chantry. Anathema so far as they're concerned.
But we're not.
But we're not.
We're not part of the Chantry. The Chantry opposed the Inquisition's formation.
I don't know that.
That matters? Don't be silly. The Herald of Andraste. Your very title smacks of the Southern Chantry. You may as well be a heathen. I think they're far more frightened what you'll do if you succeed.
Okay.
Interesting.
Well, if we are a heathen for being part of the Southern Chantry, then the Imperium has a Chantry.
Yeah, right.
Tell us more about it.
Yeah, what about that?
There's the
Explain.
Imperial Chantry, isn't there? With its own divine.
You people aren't supposed to talk about the Black Divine, are you? If you mention him outside the Imperium, people make that face, like you're urinating in public. But yes, we do have the Chantry, or a version of it. Night and day comparing it to yours.
Well,
Okay.
tell me more. Is it really that different?
Is the Imperial Chantry so different from ours?
Not in theory. The main difference is in the whole magic is meant to serve man, not rule over him business. Back home, ruling the unwashed masses is serving them, for the good of the Imperium. Perhaps it started with good intentions, but these days it's academic. The circles are in command.
You have circles.
We know
There
not
are
with
circles
Templars,
of
but
Magi
yeah.
in the Imperium.
We don't have dismal little mage prisons, if that's what you mean. They're academies, prestigious ones.
Hogwarts.
We have
Yep.
Templars as well, but
I'm
they
seeing
don't
a lot of
cancel spells
similarities.
whatever
Yep.
your Templars do. They're soldiers.
They don't use lyrium.
Ha! As if there'd be any left for them. They watch for abuse of magic, yes, but only those who are weak or who fall out of favor get dealt with. Mostly they enforce the Magisterium's edicts. The Chantry smiles and nods from the sidelines.
all right.
God, I love his writing.
I know he's so well written, and also his actor's just fantastic.
He's just killing it.
Because what he's given right here is the most dense exposition dump probably in the entire game.
Yep.
And he's making it like entertaining and interesting and like
yeah,
great.
he's coming off as like just this. It's so different from when you talk to like Bull, for example.
Yeah.
When Bull's just sort of like
Although Bull does have an exposition dump too.
he
about-
does, but
yeah.
they're very different about how they dump exposition. Like from the Canary to the like Imperium. It's I don't know. It's just
But, like,
really interesting.
Can you imagine if Blackwall had to deliver this much exposition?
Oh my
it
god,
would be a mess.
He'd be like,
But, like-
he'd just be stumbling over every word. Yeah.
Poor Blackwall. He's not.
We wouldn't care. We would finish talking to Blackwall, and we would be like, one, I don't know what the Grey Wardens are about, and two, I don't know if I care.
Yeah.
But I say that endearingly. I love like at least from what I know so
but
far.
like, there's a
Blackwall, I
reason
like him.
why like Blackwall gets to be the warden because this game assumes you know something about wardens.
Yeah, exactly.
Whereas this game knows you're not going to know anything about Teventer. So here's Dorian being
Right.
like, "All right, let's make it through it. Let's
Let's
go,
just
let's go,
go."
let's go. The Black Divine, the Black Divine."
But he loves talking about it too,
Yeah.
and loves to like throw out like terms and shit just to
knowing that you're going to follow up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good. Black Divine.
Do you really call him the Black Divine?
We don't call him that, oh no. In the Imperium, he's the true divine. The woman sitting on the Sunburst throne is some backwater pretender. It all stems from a disagreement over Andraste. Marvelous, isn't it?
Disagreement? Ooh, are you religious? Oh, I guess we'll ask that in a sec.
Why would they disagree over Andraste?
It's not my field of expertise, but the Imperium believes Andraste was a mortal woman, a mage. Down south, they say, no, she's the bride of the Maker, ascended to his side, divine provenance, a blah blah blah. We feel better believing Andraste was one of us. Makes executing her less damning, you see. So we elected a man as divine, the South declared war, and we've been feuding cousins ever since.
It's weird that, as a point of spite, almost, they continued to elect men as divine.
Yeah.
Because there's no reason for it. From
No.
what he was just saying, it's just to be...
It's just to
contrary.
be kind of petty,
Yeah.
like, towards...
I mean, now I imagine it's part of culture, but
You're
like
right.
the fact that it was because of just like to stick it to the South, it's just fascinating.
Yeah, I don't know or see any other reason why.
No.
So, I mean, unless he explains here, your divine is male?
Yeah.
So, the Imperial Divine is always a man?
All the better to distinguish him from that other one, yes. Don't think there aren't a number of female magisters who bristle at that. Why can't they be divine after all? Same reason you never see a man on the Sunburst throne. Because that's how it's always been done. Excellent reasoning.
Are you religious?
Yeah.
Do you consider yourself Andrastian?
The big question. It might surprise you that I do consider myself Andrastian. I simply do not believe in the Chantry.
Okay.
It is a relic, whether back home or here in the south. Something from a bygone age desperately clinging to relevance. it's not an opinion that makes me popular.
Well, I mean, considering the Chantries exploded in the South, and he doesn't seem to feel much for the northern version of it. Like,
it's like saying that you're like you're spiritual or you believe in God, but you're not religious.
or even, well, no, I'd say
Kind
it's
of.
more like saying you're Christian but not Catholic.
That's fair too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good. That's true.
Yeah, like saying like you believe in Jesus, you believe in God, but you don't appreciate like the different sects of it. It's more just like
that's sort of what I meant.
Mm-hmm.
Like you have a belief system, but you don't like to like prescribe to what the like.
I guess, but he specifically says he's Andrastian.
That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess that would be like saying like, yeah, I'm Christian, but I'm not. But I don't like Catholicism, or like, I'm Christian, but I don't like the denominations, or something like that.
Exactly.
Yeah. Huh, okay, interesting.
I the only reason I'm putting a point on it is because I do think it's supposed to be less of a general spirituality in this case, and more of like he believes in the Maker.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Let's see.
Others might object. Yes, the Chantry has its place, and I agree with you. None of these are, well, I don't believe in the...
None of these
I'm
are...
not Andrastian, so you fuck off. I don't...
Yeah, none of these are appropriate
Where's
for our character. I would say
God
this
damn
one
it.
is probably the best option. Others might object.
Really?
I don't know. Like,
I
what
guess
else?
it's like saying, like, no, you're right. Your belief is wrong. You should believe in the Chantry.
Oh, that's true.
Like, because his whole thing is like, this is an opinion that doesn't make me popular. There's no winning. Because one of these is rude towards Dorian for a reason that we don't believe in. One is good towards Dorian for a reason we don't believe in. And
Right.
one is just wrong, so...
Right. I guess this could be rude. I wasn't reading it like that. I was reading it as like, yeah, you're right, people won't like that. But I guess that is just rude.
I think it, especially because his whole framing on this is very defensive. Like,
Yeah.
the big question. You might be surprised, but like...
And
you
then
know, it's
for
an
us,
opinion that doesn't make me very popular.
and then for us to go like,
You're
yeah.
like, yeah.
Um,
We got Valacine, buddy.
I guess
What do you think we believe in?
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Let's
Let's see what happens.
There's no winning.
I share your opinion, actually.
That's not surprising, considering what the Inquisition represents.
It's all
I'll
wrong.
say this. I may not believe in the Chantry, but I believe in you.
It's a
In
really
me.
good line, my
That
dude.
the
Yeah.
Maker sent you, whether through Andraste or fate. Cassandra is not wrong. You are what we needed most at the moment we needed it. That's what they will say in ages to come.
That's
Wow.
a really like nice and like bold thing to say. You are a fool. No. I
It's
agree.
kind of profound too. It's like whether or not you are what people say you are, fate has put you in a very important place.
right. Right.
Yeah.
Whether it's the Maker or not, you're in the right place at the right time for what people need.
No, that doesn't mean we have to agree with it. And we can
Right.
just say, I don't know. I don't,
I mean,
yeah, or...
I'm between I don't know and I'm surprised you think that. Maybe not surprised we think that, because he did just explain, like,
his whole reason.
whole
He
reason for
gave
being
a pretty
Andrastian
profound
is-
argument.
yeah, and for us to say, oh,
Yeah. Well,
that's
weird.
surprising. You'd be like, I literally just, okay.
You didn't listen to me, did you?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I hope he doesn't, like, disapprove of that.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I'm not sure about that myself.
Doubt is good. I like doubt. It will keep you sane.
Cool.
Me?
Awesome.
I've seen too much to believe I know everything. The world is bigger than I. Even bigger than you. It laughs at all the things we think we know. The Maker doesn't need me to believe. But I do. The thought of no one at all watching out for us is too frightening.
That's cool, Dorian.
Yeah, he's a really cool
Yeah.
guy.
Really neat.
Let me ask you something else.
That was so well
So many
worded. God, his writing
That was
good.
very good. So
Shit.
the two we
You
have
suck.
left,
Is
though.
blood magic? No, you know what? Let's go ahead and knock out the slavery one.
Yeah.
It's miserable, but let's get it done.
Yeah, let's. This is where things get touchy for Dorian.
Yeah, he doesn't have some great opinions about this, but let's go ahead and
But-
go through it.
Who
It's
talks about
definitely
the
worth
Imperium
going
mentions
through.
Slavery. It's the center of the slave trade.
Ah. That is true.
And did you have slaves?
Not personally, but my family does and treats them well. Honestly, I never thought much about it until I came south.
That means you have
Back
slaves.
home, it's
By the by.
Yep.
how it is. Slaves are everywhere. You don't question it. I'm not even certain many slaves do.
Cool. There's no Wi-Fi.
Yeah. It's interesting again because he is the mouthpiece for the Tevinter Imperium to
Right.
see this issue, which has been such like a driving force for the past 2 games, presented by somebody who's like kind of ambivalent to
Yeah,
it. Like not
like-
even pro it, just like
I didn't think about it.
I never really
Like,
thought. I guess that is an issue.
Like, I mean, I guess if you're growing up in that and you don't see anything
Yes,
else,
but he's been in the
but-
South for like a few years.
right. Which I guess
I
now,
made that mistake when I was first playing this game. I thought he just arrived. He's been in the South for a few years. Like
which I guess that means cool. He's been like it was a couple years ago when he started thinking about this, but he's still. I guess as we're gonna find
I
out.
still don't know if he's thought about it. I
Yeah.
feel like he's still like, oh,
Huh.
why would you ask me that? I mean, okay, we can talk about it. You're saying they like it. It's not like that here. That's a terrible attitude.
Woo.
That is a terrible attitude.
Do you want to say that, or
Yeah.
like it's not? That's not like that here. It's not like that here. I mean, obviously he knows that.
I mean, it's a terrible attitude.
That's a terrible. Yeah, I agree.
It's a terrible
do it.
attitude.
That's
Too
it.
bad.
You
Get over
don't
it.
question it.
In the south, you have alienages, slums, both human and elven. The desperate have no way out. Back home, a poor man can sell himself. As a slave, he could have a position of respect, comfort, and could even support a family. Some slaves are treated poorly, it's true. But do you honestly think inescapable poverty is better?
So here's the thing. He's describing how slavery was like in, like what am I trying to say
I'm
here?
not entirely sure.
No,
I mean, like,
because sure that happens, but you also steal people and sell them into slavery. Like
yeah, like he has the
he's-
perspective of a super pampered rich boy who doesn't even think that the slaves who tended to him while he was growing up count as
Right.
he has a very specific,
that's a very
isolated,
idealized
pampered, and ignorant perspective.
Yes.
Towards a system that rules his country, but even more than that affects all countries, and he's just not been in a position to learn that yet. Now,
Right.
the fact that we challenged him and he's like, why would you challenge me on this? You're wrong too.
Like-
The fact, it is a little frustrating,
Yeah.
but like, I don't know. It's one of those things where it's like one would hope that while he lives in the South, especially as he gets to know people who are from the marches and that have been affected by this, or even not from the marches, from farther south, it seems like every country in Thedas has been affected by the slave trade,
Right.
And the rippling repercussions of it. Hopefully,
and he
he
doesn't
would learn.
like he hasn't seen any of that or has but ignores it.
Yeah, and so the hope with him is that, like, because he's clearly a good man, he's clearly, like, somebody who tries to consider systems on a, like, from bird's eye view rather than just how they've affected him. This is the one thing he's not really thought about. He thinks about blood magic, he thinks about the chantry, he thinks about all these things that have, like, affected him as a noble, but this is the one thing where he can't really see
You can't see the big picture.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
So the hope with Dorian is that he learns over time, but it's also not a very good look.
It's really not.
Yeah.
For what it's worth, though, it's making him a very nuanced character.
Yeah, because
And-
he's not pure good. He's not the good boy to Venter.
Right,
like,
right. It's
you
like,
know.
oh, you're still really steeped in that culture in like in a very not good way.
Yeah.
And like you're still maybe you don't quite understand it, but you're still trying to defend something that's abhorrent.
Yeah.
Based on a very idealized, I guess, perception of it that isn't really even true.
Yeah.
But
it
maybe
is
it's
interesting
true
because
on like very specific cases.
I guess, but it's
don't
not. It's
know.
failing to see the big picture.
Exactly.
But
Yeah.
to your point, it makes him interesting as a nuanced perspective on Teventer, and not
Yeah.
just like, oh yeah, as a good person from Teventer, you somehow understand every wrong thing that your country has done.
Right.
He
right.
has his blind spots.
Exactly.
but
Which
yeah.
I think is super cool. Like that's
From
great.
a writing perspective, it's good writing.
Great writing.
In fact, it would be probably bad writing for him to be the good boy Teventer
Yeah.
person. Like, So, at least they have a choice, or treated poorly. Treated poorly seems like the good angry one.
Yeah, I want to go with that one. Yeah.
Is that what you call it? Treated poorly?
Abuse heaped upon those without power isn't limited to Tevinter, my friend. I don't know what it's like to be a slave, true. I never thought about it until I saw how different it was here. But I suspect you don't know either. Nor should you believe that every tale of Tevinter excess is the norm.
Again, Elf from the Marches, I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like...
Yep. She's probably had experiences of watching people get sold into the slave trade in Tevinter. So, or to Tevinter.
But that's the end of that conversation. We can't follow up on it and be like,
hey, dude.
Let me tell you my story.
Let's sit down here for a second and have a little powwow. But I do like that we can come at him immediately and start and hammer at him.
Because trust me, if as an elf from the Free Marches you weren't able to do that, that probably would change my opinion of this game a lot.
I can let not being able to talk about being Dalish, like with regards to the Chantry slide, like when he's talking about being Drastian, but that was still But
this is a big one.
Yeah, this was a big one. So, and I'm sure that those options are there regardless. But that was good.
Mm-hmm.
And
finally, hey, blood magic.
Blood magic.
Just how often is blood magic used there?
Oh, not at all.
Not at all.
That's what any Magister would tell you. They'd be convincingly offended by the notion too. Of course, what people call blood magic here and what we consider blood magic are two different things.
What do you call it?
What's considered actual blood magic in Tevinter?
Blood magic isn't inherently dangerous. Using your own blood or that of a willing participant, what's the harm? The problem is that what's permitted only gets you so much power. And what if you need more? You always need more. That's where we get into sacrifices and demon summoning. None of that is done. Not officially. Behind closed doors, it's a different story. Real blood magic can give you an edge, a leg up against your opponents. It's safe to assume that any mage of rank does it. The rest are quietly shut out of power, to put it bluntly.
No Templar intervention? He's gonna scoff at that.
Yeah, he's gonna be like, how?
Yeah.
You'd think the Templars would object.
I imagine they did, long ago. Once, their investigations might have been sincere. Then their balls were cut off. Too inconvenient. Nowadays, only the friendless are accused. Most of them probably innocent.
No one disagrees?
Yeah, I guess.
There must be some mages who oppose this.
Of course. I do. And I'm not entirely alone. Occasionally, there'll be a Magister who makes noise, and then the reform talk begins. All very patriotic. Meanwhile, that Magister will be quietly shunned. Chances are, surprise, it's learned he was a Maleficar. Most learn to keep quiet. Me? I enjoy the allure of pariahhood.
Fair enough.
That's it?
That's all I wanted to know.
Dorian, that was really informative.
Ooh,
Jesus
wow.
Christ, we still haven't asked you about you! Oh my god, this is a really long episode though, so I feel like we're probably gonna have to cut off. We can check in on him.
I was actually gonna say, do you want to ask him about himself next time?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah,
We'll
that
finish
sounds
this
good.
conversation next time.
Yeah.
But
Dorian.
very informative.
He's got a lot. It's like, he's so great, and then it's like, then, oh man, oh Dorian, oh
He's a very interesting character.
he's so cool. What a cool character. Just in the way his lines are written, the way he reads them, and just all the information he has. Like I said, how nuanced he is. Yeah, he's so interesting. But yeah, I will ask him about himself next time.
Sounds good. See you, folks.
Bye!